aí galerinha, espero que estejam bem. Gostaria de agradecer a todos pelo apoio ao canal. Sem vocês não poderíamos chegar tão longe. Gostaria de saber como melhorar o canal cada vez mais para vocês. A propósito, eu amei o apelido que me deram nos comentários. Bob. Sério, podem me chamar assim. Desejo que todos sejam abençoados e que os vídeos realmente os ajude de alguma forma. Nunca se esqueçam que vocês nunca estão só. Deus está vendo cada um de vocês. Vou aparecer algumas vezes por aqui a partir de hoje. Espero que isso não assuste vocês, com esse cara feio. O dono do canal me obrigou a isso. Sério, ele é doido. Mas é gente boa, é isso. Nos vemos na próxima.
She was reluctant to speak for a while, until she finally opened up, amidst lots of tears and stuttering. By the way, her name is Sarah. I don't know why I didn't mention it before. She was not at all comfortable, and I noticed that her memories were tormenting her. She started by saying that since she was very young, she was forced to watch her mother argue with her father. Everything started to get worse when she started drinking alcohol. She simply lost control. There were episodes where she attacked her father and beat her, in addition to leaving her without eating during the week. She only ate 2 meals on the weekends, as her father was at home. During the week I only had dinner. Her mother kept her without eating all day. Weekends were golden days for her. Once she heard her mother say that she hated her, and that she shouldn't have been born, which was a hard shock for her. His father did everything he could to alleviate his suffering. It was clear that alcohol had taken her mother away from normal family life. As she knew that she was not loved by her mother, she began to blame herself for everything, which led her to take tranquilizers at just 11 years old to put an end to it all. The doctor said it was because of God that she didn't die there. She remembered seeing her mother come into the room, looking at her and saying, "I'll see if she dies next time." Those words with a cold look from her mother, gave her a knot in her stomach, making her vomit. This affected her so deeply that she lost the will to live. She asked God every day to take her, because there was no feeling that she was an innocent child who loved her mother, who should love and protect her, mistreated and hated her. One weekend, she arrived home around 1 a.m., visibly upset and violent. He entered her room, knocking everything over with a threatening tone. When she told me this, I was very shaken. I could see that she had not overcome or resolved these events in her life. I kept silent. And just after a few minutes she continued. She said her father came into the room to intervene, which led her to witness a physical fight between the two. Finally her father restrained her and she slept. But later she heard her father on the phone saying she is not well. She drank, but this time she went further. She is using drugs. His mother's appearance had changed significantly. She was no longer the beautiful woman she once was. She hears a time when she treats her with somewhat dubious affection, taking her to the ice cream parlor, which would be normal if it weren't for the fact that she doesn't trust her mother anymore. That day she wasn't being herself, she was treating her with affection. Sarah even wanted to believe in her change. But soon the dream turned into a nightmare. A tall man approached and kissed her mother without even caring about her there. Looked at her and said, "Is that the brat?" She knew something was wrong, but she was paralyzed. Suddenly her mother looked at her and said, "You are going with him." She asked for what reason, and his mother replied coldly, "Because I want to." Sarah started to cry, which made her mother pull her by the arm and say, "Shut up, I don't want them to notice." She was in shock, and in an attitude of desperation she ran away. They followed her, but she hid in a bush and lost them. She heard her mother say, "You miserable brat, I'll kill you." The man just said, "Solve it, I don't want any problems," turned around and left. When he got home, his father was in the kitchen. But as she didn't know how to tell her, she went straight to the bathroom, simulating feeling unwell. As she looked at herself in the mirror, without having yet processed what had happened, her stomach was churning with despair. She even thought about dying because, how would she tell her father? So she washed her face and decided that she wouldn't do it, but she noticed that the shock was too much for her. Just a child, and she already had to hide her feelings. She didn't understand it at the time, but it was activating a block in her mind. Her mother arrived around 9 at night. She was on the couch with her father watching TV. She came in and looked at me a little surprised, changed her mind and said there was pizza. At that moment I looked at her and said that I didn't need to tell her if I wasn't doing well. But she kissed me and said, okay, I need to share it with someone. I've never told anyone this, I need to free myself.
Continue.